Hello, everyone. Thank you, all of you, to be here in this practitioners section. It's my pleasure to introduce you João Renato Leripio, who is the head of data science and economic modeling at Kapitalo Investments in Brazil. Renato is a senior economist analysis at Kapitalo Investments in charge of developing tools to improve the accuracy of economic forecasts. He is also the author of R for Economic Research, his first book in which he teaches indispensable tools to produce professional economic analysis using R language. So welcome, Renato. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Fernando, for this gentle introduction. And welcome, everybody. Today, I'm going to talk about nowcasting when predictors keep changing. And it's something that I've been working on for a while. Actually, I've been working with alternative data in the context of predicting economic activity and also inflation. And there is many challenges that I've come across during this time. And today, the idea is to present maybe one of the most challenging scenarios that I've came across during this time. So I hope you enjoy, and let's Well, first, I'd like to introduce myself a little bit. I'm an economist. I have a degree in economics, and I work at the intersection of applied macroeconomics, data science, and research engineering. I am the lead of data and economic modeling at Kapitalo, which is a Brazilian multi-manager hedge fund, managing over $5 billion in assets. And I develop quantitative models, data products, and data pipelines for investment research. And as I said, much of my recent work has focused on inflation nowcasting using alternative data. Using alternative data is not something new. We've been employing this kind of data sets since the outbreak of COVID, when economic was very volatile. So we have been employing this kind of data to better assess economic activity and inflation in real time, since hard data was not appropriate in this environment. So, why inflation nowcasting? And this is something that I think that is very particular for Brazil, because in Brazil, predicting inflation is a very competitive task and a very profitable task also. And that's because inflation expectations are central to asset allocation in Brazil. And because we have a deep and liquid market for inflation-linked bonds, that creates a strong incentive to improve predictive accuracy, especially for inflation. So, besides, we have professional forecasters that rely on a wide range of high-frequency information. And this information includes, of course, commodity prices, exchange rates, wholesale prices, among many others. But beside this standard information, there is one very valuable information source for inflation forecasting in Brazil, especially for the short-term inflation forecasting. That is the FGV monitor, which is a proprietary daily indicator based on brick-and-mortar price collection. So this company, FGV, they collect prices every day for every item of the CPI basket for Brazilian inflation. And professional forecasters have access to this data on a regular basis. And by closely following the methodology of Brazil's official statistical agency, it provides an early signal of short-term inflation dynamics. So I'd say that it's virtually not possible to produce accurate forecast inflation in Brazil, at least for the short term, without relying on this source of data. Just to get a sense of what this data is, I selected some items from the FGV monitor and related to the actual CPI for the item. So here we have milk, which the FGV monitor closely follows the actual inflation. We have also new motor vehicles, perfume, and mobile phone. So this is to say that the FGV monitor is it's a very accurate for some items, for example, for milk and other food. If you see, for example, rice, tomatoes, this kind of food, the FGV monitor is a very accurate source of information. For others, they do a decent job, for example, new vehicles. And for others that are harder to predict, it is good but not excellent. So the main idea is that although the FGV monitor is a great indicator for many items, it leaves some room to improvements. But beyond the FGV monitor indicator, where can we source new information? Where can we get new information, new source of information? Well, we find that building an additional high-frequency signal from web-scraped prices could be a complementary source of information that adds a significant amount of signal to what we have in both hard data and in the FGV monitor as well. So the idea is that rather than replacing the FGV monitor, we seek an additional source of high-frequency information based on web-scraped prices. And the greatest potential of this information lies in components where the FGV monitor is less informative, as we saw earlier. For example, motor vehicles, mobile phone, this kind of stuff. And it's also true that recent advances in computational tools have made collecting web prices substantially more accessible. We can build web scrapes almost instantly using, for example, Cloud Code and those stuff. And collecting the data is not anymore the bottleneck. The real thing is that how we can extract the real signal from this data. Because even when starting from similar raw data, the resulting indicators can differ because of coverage, preprocessing, classification, or modeling choices. So the bottom line here is that the challenge is no longer access to data, but transforming it into useful signals. And okay, so what's the first and I'd say the major challenge when using this kind of data? The first question is, which product should we use? Because we collect maybe hundreds or thousands of products every day, and we have, of course, to select which products we will use to build our indicator. So the available product universe is far larger than the official CPI basket. That's the real thing, because the official statistical agents, they collect this price at brick and mortar stores, but they collect targeted products. While we have collecting this price from the internet, and we have a larger collection of price. So we have to choose which products to use. And of course, as we have a much larger set of products, we expect that our data set contains the products that the official statistical agency actually uses. So all this to say that this looks like a standard variable prediction problem, right? And not quite. Not quite, because we have a major challenge, which is that the products continuously enter and leave the basket. So, for example, if we look at electronics, we have products with very short life cycles. For example, you buy an iPhone 11, 15, and the next year there is the iPhone 16 and 17 and so on. So these products are replaced by newer ones as time evolves. And it's also true for other items. For example, motor vehicles, they are effectively a new basket every year, because maybe you have the same brand, a similar model, but the year of the vehicle is different. So something changed from one vehicle in 1 year to the other, so we have a completely different basket to consider. Even considered stable categories exhibit gradual turnover. For example, if we look at perfumes, there are products that are limited editions or some kind of small change in the product features that make these products a completely new one that we have to replace in our basket. But in the official statistical agency, there is an analyst that selects these products manually, and he or she employs some kind of methodology to do so, but we are not aware of how they do this, so we have to adopt some kind of criteria to achieve the same result. So the key takeaway here in this slide is that product turnover make the set of available products generally unstable over time, which is completely at odds with how we usually approach problems of forecasting, since usually we have a fixed panel of predictors. So this is like the anatomy of the data set. It's a real data set, and it's a very important graphic for this presentation. Here, each row represents the evolution of a given product over time. So we think about the blue squares as a product evolving over time. And once it gets white, it means that it doesn't exist anymore. So this product has left the sample. And each column is a different product. So the number of products are also increasing over time. And this may be, the reason for this are several. For example, we may have temporary gaps in product availability, where it's the case when the products leave the sample, but after some time it re-enters the sample. We may have, for example, permanent exits of products from the sample. And we have, of course, new products arriving at the sample because new releases or something like this. And besides that, we can also, I would call your attention for the fact that we are using alternative data, and we are collecting these prices from websites. So the classification of the products, it's based on the labels we collect from these websites, and these labels may change even though they represent the same product. So there is a problem, an additional problem of misclassification that is also a source of turnover, even though it's not a classical turnover in the sense that the product is in the sample, but I can actually label the product in an appropriate manner. So that's why standard approaches struggle, because if it was simply a matter of selecting products, we could employ, for example, any regularization model like Lasso or PCA, for example. But as the set of predictors are continuously evolving over time, we have a different setting. So most methods are designed to learn stable relationships from a fixed set of predictors. And since many products have short life cycles, leaving little time to estimate, validate, and re-optimize models before the underlying cross-section changes again. So that's the problem. We don't have a fixed panel of predictors from which we could select a smaller set. We have a changing and evolving sample. In addition, in production environments, daily pipelines benefit from methods that remain stable over time rather than requiring frequent respecification. And it's a real problem because we have to deliver these results on a daily basis. So I have to ensure that the method that I'm employing to extract this indicator is reliable, and I don't have to re-estimate and re-optimize every time. And so the challenge is not only statistical, but also operational. So I'm here to propose a task reframing. So instead of selecting products, I'm proposing to it's an attempt to find a way to better summarize the information that we have. So this is to say that variable selection relies on learning stable relationships over time, as I said before, and most products in our data set have short and irregular histories. So time dimension is scarce, but the cross-section is rich. And instead of selecting predictors, the idea is that we can exploit the information contained in the cross-section. So I started with a simple benchmark, which is the simple average, and we basically take the cross-section of every product that we have in the sample. So for example, if I'm considering the new vehicles CPI item, I'm taking the prices collected for every car I found in the internet, and I compute the returns of the prices, and then I take the mean, the simple mean of the cross-section of these prices. So this is the most simple, the simplest indicator that I could came up with. And I show you that it works very well. For example, milk, it's very good because we have a few brands of milk in the market, so it's easier to monitor the evolution of the prices of this item. But also for others, CPI items, it equally works well. For example, for new vehicles, perfume, a mobile phone, it's okay, but it's not great. So we believe that we can improve upon these results even further. But it's a good starting point. That's the idea here. So what's the idea? Is that starting from the simple mean, we can design a framework that enables us to add features or relax assumptions in order to get improved results. So as I showed you, the mean already captures a useful amount of information. And rather than replacing it, we can view it as a restricted factor model. And this perspective suggests a natural path for introducing additional structure. And the main takeaway here is that a factor model allows us to extend the mean while preserving its intuition that is very simple. So here, basically, I'm trying to represent the simple mean as a restricted factor model, which is basically that every product in my basket, it relates to a factor plus an error, an observation error. And the factor evolves as a white noise. So, and in addition, every source of error follows a normal distribution. So this is the simplifying assumption that I'm making here, which is that we don't have loadings on the factor, for example, and we don't have also temporal dynamic in the factor. So it's a factor. The factor is contemporary in the sense that we don't have temporal dynamics, and also all the errors follow a normal distribution. And this is the comparison between this factor model and the sample mean. They are not exactly the same thing, but we can see that they are very close to each other. So this is to say that I can use this restricted factor model as a proxy for my simple average. And from this, I can relax some assumptions and incorporate other features in order to try to improve the indicator. So, in the next couple of slides, I'm gonna walk you through some extensions that I've made to this model in order to see if these the assumptions that I've relaxed, they somehow improve the indicator. And the first extension is maybe the simplest one, is introducing temporal dynamics in the factor. So I'm adding a lag of the factor on the right-hand side of the equation of the factor. And the idea is that I should be able to have a smoother indicator. But as we see here, it's a result that I was not expecting. I was expecting more changes in the factor, but as we can see, there are few small changes if we compare the new factor that incorporates temporal dynamics with the benchmark, which is the constant time factor model. And the dots, the black dots are the CPI, the actual CPI. So not much difference between the two, and so it's not including temporal dynamics that will indeed improve the factor. So the second extension that I have made is to include a time-varying volatility by, modeling the error, the variance of the error term of the observation equation, making it a function of the interquartile range. This was motivated by an empirical observation that the error from the indicator that I have built with the sample mean, they were very correlated for many items with the interquartile range. So this was an attempt to include this empirical observation into the model. But as you can see, it's a little disappointing, but no effect at all in the final indicator. Just small, very, very small effects here and here, but no noticeable effect at all. And the last extension that I have made was to replace the Gaussian error in the observation term to student t distributions, like I'm just changing the shape of the distribution of the error term. And the idea is that when I have Gaussian errors, I'm assuming that large variations, large observations are not likely to occur under this Gaussian distribution, so it immediately passes through to the factor. So when I'm exchanging this, when I'm changing the distribution to a student t, I'm assuming that large observations, large errors are possible, are possible under this new assumption, and my factor would be somewhat protected from the effects of these large errors. And this has made a real difference. So when I change the distribution of the error term, I see large difference between the new factor and the old factor. And in fact, for many periods of large movements in the factor, this change produced real improvements. At least visually, we can see that. And this was a result that is very impressive. And the idea is to measure to which extent this extension improved the forecast accuracy of the factor. So that's a metric of mean absolute error for comparing the two factors that we have seen, that we saw in the previous slide. So I'm comparing here the relative improvement of the factor using the student t error distribution relative to the sample mean, which is actually the benchmark here. So for mobile phone, the improvement was almost 40%. For new vehicles, above 10%. For perfume, roughly 10%. And for milk, a more modest improvement of close to 5%. So here I come back again to the comparison of my indicator with the FGV monitor. So the FGV monitor is like the gold standard for high frequency information for short-term inflation. So I'm here comparing the two. And as you can see, at times they converge, but at times they diverge a lot. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because in general, I have access to both, and it's great that they have different content, so I can benefit from both. And for example, if we see here in new vehicles, we have a sharp drop in inflation here, and like my indicator, it's far from the real observation, but also the FGV monitor was far from the real observation. And mentally, if we take the mean average here, we would be better off than using them not together in separate. So this is a comparison in terms of predictive accuracy between our indicator using the student t distribution and the FGV monitor. And of course, we have a massive literature showing that combination is always preferred than using separate information. So for this matter, I just take the mean, the simple mean of the two indicators, our student indicator and the FGV monitor, and showed here that for most of the items considered, the sample mean actually performed better than both of the indicators. So I think that the main message here is that we could able to collect alternative data, process this data, and make model choices that improved upon a simple benchmark in a very challenging environment where the data set evolves over time. And we are actually able to outperform the FGV monitor in many cases. I'm just showing 4 cases here, 4 items, but actually we have this kind of an analysis for a large number of CPI items. But these results are general enough to, it's general enough. It holds for many other indicators, CPI items. So this is to show the business impact of this, because as a practitioner, I'm more interested into the business impacts of our choices rather than just a metric of accuracy. And this is to show that we have employing this use of alternative data for a couple of years, and we have been able to improve our assessment of actual inflation, mostly in the short term, which is most interesting for us. And this is the rank that the Brazilian Central Bank releases regularly, and we have been ranked among the top 5 for a couple of years now. And it's a very impactful result for us, and shows that somehow we are able to incorporate additional information that the markets are not considering. So I'm going to leave some takeaways from all of these that I have shown. And is that in high turnover data sets, variable selection is often not a viable strategy. And when predictors change faster, then relationships can be learned. Aggregation may be more effective than selection. And most importantly, the cross-section contains valuable information beyond simple averaging. As we see, we can make some choices that improve the information content of the cross-section. And the main message is that even simple extensions can deliver meaningful forecast gains. And lastly, that alternative data, they are not silver bullets, but they can provide complementary information beyond traditional indicators. So that's what I have to show you. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you have. I have somehow sparked your curiosity and sparked new ideas for research. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Renato, for your nice presentation. We have time for some questions. Okay.
Congrats for the presentation. I quite like it. There's a lot of questions, but the first one is, you have a model, you have 2 variances. One, when you have 2 normal distribution for the errors, and then you improve it when you consider T distribution, that's sort of long-range things. How do you set this variance in order to get the result? Did you, you have sort of any kind of estimation for them, or is a hyperparameter you set by?
Yeah, all the parameters in this model, they are estimated using Bayesian inference.
Bayesian.
Yeah.
Bayesian analysis, yeah.
Yeah. Huh?
But what's the relationship between the variance of the T distribution and the variance of the normal distribution on the factor? You have sigma E and sigma eta.
I'm trying to get...
Go back to that one.
Yeah, but I'm not... It's not... I think it's not working. There you go.
It's gone.
Oh.
Yeah, over there. This one.
Whoops. Okay.
You have two variants, right?
Yeah.
Of the error component. One of the observation one and one of the factor.
Yes.
That an observed factor. So I have sigma E and sigma eta.
Yeah.
What's the relationship? I mean, I assume sigma E is higher, bigger than sigma.
Yeah. You mean like the difference in magnitude?
Magnitude, yeah.
Okay. So yes, when we estimate, actually, when I replaced the distribution shape from a normal distribution to a student T distribution, I was mainly interested in the estimation of the new parameter, which will ultimately dictate how heavy is the tail. Yeah, and its parameters, the new parameter was slightly above 2, which means it's a very heavy tail. But the relationship between these two parameters right now, I can't remember.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna check it.
Maybe you can even improve a little bit more if you make a sort of search of what's the best relationship between them, and then improve even more the accuracy of the estimate. One second question is, you have many products, sort of a basket of 150 products, and you concentrate all the presentation in 4 products. Why only these 4 products? Why perfume? I mean,
yeah.
What's behind this choice?
What's the criteria? Yeah, actually, I tried to be as representative as I could in terms of product importance. Because, for example, as I said, market participants in Brazil, they have a massive amount of information, and the forecasts differ by a slight amount from each other. And most of this difference in forecasts are due to some specific items. And those items are items that typically they either have a large volatility, which is the case, for example, for perform. They go to -10 to +10. It's very volatile. And they have a large weight on the CPI basket. It's 1% for one item. And the other use case I brought here is mobile phone, because we are usually interested in, for example, Black Friday. When we are approaching Black Friday, electronic devices get large discounts. So it's also a source of difference between forecasts among market participants, whether these discounts are large or not. And new vehicles, I chose it because it's the most striking example of a basket that changes every year. And milk is maybe the simplest one, because it's the easiest to estimate, to forecast. So I try to mix the examples in order to provide representative examples. And I have to pick some of them, but in reality, we have this kind of an analysis for a large set.
You have this analysis for all of them?
Not all exactly, because there are items that I cannot search in the internet. But for those for those items that there are information on the internet, yes, I have these indicators.
Thank you very much. Congrats. I quite like it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, I have one. You show a slide that you have made a combination of your predictions and the FGV monitor, just considering half and half.
Yeah.
Did you try any other optimized combinations, or if this is in your plans, do you think it?
Yeah, actually, great question. Yes. we know from the literature that, of course, we can optimize this, this combination by setting a different factor to combine the forecast. But in fact, I didn't perform yet any kind of optimization here. It was most an exercise of showing that a simple combination, half and half, could do a better job than considering them apart. But it's, of course, it's an encouraging result, since the simplest combination performed better.
Yeah.
So there's room for further improvements. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? So let's thank you, Renato, once again, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.